All right, so I was doing something a little silly, but for science. I had a daily that I needed to do as the pig. I didn't have a great match before this, so I only needed a couple ambush hits just to knock out a daily. So I was like, why don't I try an end game build just to try out the ghoul's new perk on it? And I did an end game double cross, but I also wanted to try and see what would happen if I allowed them to bounce back after the abandoned feature popped up. So I'll scan around a little bit. You know, I played the match semi-normal until I got to the last two people. I made sure I got my stacks to remember me and all that ready for the end game. And then once I get to the last two people, I kind of dialed it back. I wanted to see if I could hold them hostage here long enough for the abandoned feature to come. And it does eventually happen because they don't know where I'm coming from, whatever. And I wanted to see if the abandoned feature for killer disappears once they start touching gens again. And what I'm gonna show in this little experiment slash double cross, and I'll put up the full video, but it's like 26 minutes long, and I'm not gonna have my voice up and me talking through an entire 26-minute video. So now I'm just kind of scouting the map, getting extra points here and there as I wait to see what happens. Either they both split up and knock out the two gens, or they both act like rats and hide, which would promote the abandoned feature to pop up. I wanted to do this in the blood event as well, because I also had this little theory that the blood event generators, if they don't touch those, don't count towards the abandoned timer. Since they don't count for perks, they might not count also for, whether or not a generator's been touched. So they've got 3 regular generators left and 1 blood moon generator left with the way I let it play out. Now, like I said, I'm just kind of messing around right now, waiting for the abandoned to pop up. So I'm acting like I'm searching. And I'm really not. I just want to see what's going to happen. Are they going to group up? Are they both going to heal? This whole experiment hinges on these survivors. Now, I'm going to kick this just so I have another point of reference to come back to try and find them for the end game. Because I'm going to act friendly. But the double cross is going to come in. I've already got my ambush hits by this point. My daily is done. Let me go back to the little science experiment that I'm messing with here. Now, I don't have it yet. I'm going to scroll forward a bit. Still don't quite have it yet. I just pulled him out of a locker. Here's abandoned. So hold on. Go back just a little bit. So Jake's down. I'm just kind of messing with him here still. I watched him go in the locker. I'm just gonna drop him. So now that he's down, in a couple seconds here, you'll see it, upper right corner, abandoned. Now, I want to see if I leave them alone and I let them go back to doing generators, both the event specific ones and one regular one, will the abandoned disappear? Because we could have a situation where if, let's say, a skilled killer or somebody who really wants to troll could hold the beginning of the game hostage long enough, or the middle, if at any point in time, can the killer force the abandoned feature to come up? And then could we use it to, let's say, out of nowhere when they pop the last gen, use the abandon and sacrifice all 4. I'm sure there are much, you know, people with much better skills in this game than I do, better killers that have better lockdown methods. I wanted to go in doing this with the pig, A, because she's nerfed for the event, and B, because they're not going to expect it. So at this point, it's just me trying to wait and see what happens. Now, they have 2 gens left. I'm just gonna mess with them until those 2 gens are popped. And then the double cross is gonna come in. But keep in mind, it's for science. You know, we need to see if they start touching gens again, does abandon for the killer go away, or does it stay the entire time? So like, I see Jeff. I don't care about Jeff. He's gonna go finish that generator. As long as I have a basic idea of where these guys are, I can then turn around and go from there. So he just popped that regular generator. I still have abandon on my screen. So if I wanted to at this point in time in the game, if I wasn't going for, you know, the end game double cross that I was going for with this build, I could right now end this match and sacrifice them both. But what am I going to learn there? Not much. So I wait. I want to see what happens if they finish an event generator. So let's scroll forward a little bit more, because I eventually find Jeff doing the generator. Now keep in mind, we're also 20 minutes into this match. You know, I have held these people here for over 20 minutes as the pig, which in its own is an accomplishment. But like I said, I just got stomped in a previous match and only got a couple of ambush hits. So MMR might still be a little low. But I'm gonna let him finish this generator, because I want to see what happens. Also lulls him into a false sense of security. Surprise, it's double cross time. I've also kind of lost track of the Jake at this moment. And he gives himself away by taking out the Noah. So Jake, you'll see, will get an extra special consolation prize with this double cross. But I still have the abandon, you know, back to the initial point of the science experiment slash I'm gonna mess with people match that I just played here for the last 20 plus minutes. Abandon's still there. I can end the game right now instead of going for that final Mori and the rest, but that's what I'm going to do. I am going to allow for the save. I'm gonna take out Jeff. I'm gonna take out the Jake, because they have no chance of getting out anyway. I could have been nice, but that wasn't the purpose of my little experiment here. So I still have abandon after I allowed them to do both a regular gen and an event specific gen. So what we find out with this new feature, and other people can test it, if you at any moment in time in the match make it so they can't touch a generator for X amount of time, which I know is counterproductive, but our game is full of trolls and people that will do stuff like this. So if at any point in time somebody really wanted to, all they have to do is hold a decent 3-gen or keep them busy doing anything at all. Once that abandoned feature pops up, we can end the match at any moment in time. We could go stand in a corner after we've gotten it to pop up as killer. let them do all the gens, and instantly hit abandon. You know, so there's some troll plays that we could do with this feature that you wouldn't entirely expect. And I'm gonna find my little Jake here and give him the "You Broke My No-Ed prize. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Killer can make abandon pop up on the screen at any moment. Even if they start touching generators again, then next thing you know, we can end the match at any moment in time. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, but this is what I'm seeing. So, here's your information. Do with it what you will.